Thousands of years ago, humanity recorded its first reaction to failure. Adam and Eve, realizing they made a mistake, retreated into the trees. When God called out, "Where art thou?" he was addressing the internal distance they had created between themselves and their Creator. We repeat this cycle every time we feel we have failed. When the pain of a mistake or a habit becomes heavy, we isolate. We pull away from friends, family, and our spiritual foundations. This urge to retreat into the dark is a predictable human response to spiritual pain. It is a natural defense mechanism, not a sign that you are fundamentally broken. Many people start their recovery in the middle of the night. You realized something had to change and took the brave first step of reaching out or downloading a resource. But often, that initial courage is followed by a sudden pivot. You ignored the follow-up text, let the phone ring, and slipped back into the quiet. Ghosting a program happens when the weight of shame makes the act of being seen feel impossible. The silence becomes a way to manage the pressure of the struggle. Disappearing in this way is a fallback to the oldest defensive strategy in human history. To move forward, we have to look at the mechanics of why the mind demands this isolation. The adversary thrives in these hiding places. He uses a psychological tactic called disguised self-talk to ensure we stay there. This deception works by mimicking your own inner voice. The spiritual attack is designed to feel like a genuine, self-generated assessment of your own worth. It sounds like, "I have to handle this myself," or "if they knew the truth, they would reject me." These thoughts are tactical assaults meant to keep you hidden. They are not accurate reflections of your reality. They are a targeted effort to keep you from seeking help. The hazard in this conflict is the false belief that you are the only one capable of navigating your own mind. There is a mechanical difference in processing these thoughts. Guilt is productive pain pointing toward repair. Shame is a downward spiral attacking identity. Guilt identifies a mistake. Shame insists you are the mistake, forming chains that sever your connections to community and covenants. This creates a closed loop of despair. The more you withdraw from others, the thicker the psychological fog becomes, making it harder to see a way out. This self-imposed isolation cuts you off from the very mentors, groups, and divine support systems designed to facilitate a rescue. Shame's ultimate goal is to convince you that your mistakes have permanently revoked your right to receive grace or stand with a team. In the 1850s, rescue wagons were sent for pioneers starving on the frozen plains. Those pioneers didn't hide when the wagons arrived. They recognized their survival depended on being found. Today, many are spiritually frozen on modern plains. They remain in the cold, convinced they haven't done enough to earn a rescue. Stepping out of that snowbank to reach for a sword is the first act of recovery. You do not have to be winning the battle to ask for help. This decision to stop hiding transforms a victim into an eternal warrior. Strength emerges the moment you allow someone else to walk beside you in the fight. Healing begins in the vulnerable moment you choose exposure over the false safety of isolation. Shifting from reactive hiding to deliberate training is the foundation of the new warrior pattern. It involves standing shoulder to shoulder with a team and carrying the shield of faith together, rather than retreating into the trees. The coaches and mentors reaching out are not looking to judge you. They are actively trying to find you. Answer the phone. Send the text back. Make the choice to stop hiding. Real self-mastery starts when you step out of the mist and answer heaven's oldest question, "Where art thou?" Let yourself be found.